we can study germination of seeds. Germination of seeds. All seeds do not grow. Some seeds is destroyed by the harsh weather or eaten by animals or birds. So, a seed needs suitable conditions to grow into a new plant. A seed needs suitable conditions to grow into a new plant. They need a suitable condition or favorable condition for their growth. The process by which a seed produces a baby plant or seedling is called germination. The process by which a seed produces a baby plant or seedling is called germination. What is that? Germination. So, three conditions necessary for germination. Three conditions are very important for the germination. They are water, air and favorable temperature. So, three conditions necessary for germination are water, air and favorable temperature. Look at the cycle showing the process of seed germination. Seed germination. See here, this is the seed. The root grows out first. Here, the roots grows out first. Then the shoot grows. The shoot start to grow. Then the root grow downwards in soil and lengthens with time. The plant grows outward. The plant carries out photosynthesis. See, the plants carried out photosynthesis and prepare its own food. Okay, photosynthesis means plants prepare their own food. Then the shoot grows into stem. See, the shoot grows into stem that holds leaves, buds, flowers and fruits. Here, see, we can see the leaves are there, flowers and fruits also will grow there. Okay, so after when the plants are making food, then they start to grow and so the stem that holds leaves, buds, flowers and fruits. Next is seed dispersal. If all the baby plant grew near the parent plant, they would have to compete for the food, water, sunlight, nutrients to grow into a healthy plant. Therefore, it is necessary to scatter far from one another. So, the process of scattering of seeds is called dispersal of seed. The process of scattering of seed is called dispersal of seeds. So, wind, water, animals and human beings carry out dispersal of seeds in nature. So, different agents of dispersal are wind, water, animals and human beings. Let us learn one by one. Dispersal by wind. Some fruits have very light and hairy or wing-shaped seeds. So, that can easily be carried out by the wind and blown to far-off places. If these seeds get favorable condition, they start to germinate in fertile soil. So, example, maple, jacaranda seeds are wing-shaped seeds. Their seeds are wing-shaped, and dandelion and cotton, they are having hairs arranged like a parachute that enable them to carry faraway places. Next is dispersal by water. See, aquatic plants like water lily, foxglove, lotus, etc. These plants, they are having very light and small seeds. So, they can float easily in water. So, through the water, it is going, with the help of water, they are going to one place to another. Then, next, seeds of coconut. See, actually, the seeds of coconut is very heavy, but it is covered with a spongy and fibrous cord. They are having one outer covering. Okay, so they can float easily on water. So, water carried these seeds from one place to another. Next is dispersal by animals and human beings. Some seeds have hook-like structures that help them to cling to the fur of animals. Cling means it's hold it tightly to the fur of animals or hair or skin of animals. So they can carry it from one place to another. Cocklebur, mistletoe are the example of such kind of plants. Next, some birds or animals, they eat the fruits, small berries or small fruits. So, the birds, especially birds, they are eating the fruits, and these seeds is going to inside their body, but it is not digested. So, they are coming or dispersed through the dropping of the birds. Dropping means excrete of the birds. Okay, and human beings and some animals, they eat the juicy fruit like mango, orange, etc. And we are throwing the seeds. Okay, so that is also another way of scattering of seeds. Next is dispersal by explosion. See, some seeds like geranium, balsam, poppy and pots of pea, etc. It bursts open when they ripen. Okay, burst open when they ripen. So that is also another way of dispersal of seed. So dispersal by explosion. Now we can learn other ways in which plants reproduce. See, new plants grow not only from the seeds but also from the other parts of the plants like stem, leaves, roots, etc. Vegetative parts. We already learned vegetative parts of plants. Stem, leaves, roots, etc. are the vegetative parts of plants. Okay. New plants grow from the vegetative parts of plants. Let us learn one by one. Reproduction from stem. See, several natural and artificial methods are there to grow new plants from stem. So, several natural and artificial methods used to grow new plants from stem. First one is stem cutting. Rose, bougainvillea, these plants. See, when a part of the stem containing the bud is there now? So when a part of stem containing the bud is cut and planted to the soil, this part, a new plant grows from it. Okay, that is stem cutting. Once again, when a part of stem containing bud is cut and planted to the soil, a new plant grows from it. That is the stem cutting. Next is grafting. Sometimes a portion of the shoot of a plant. Shoot means the part above the soil. That part is called shoot. So sometimes a portion of the shoot or stem of a plant is cut and then attached to the shoot of another plant. It attached to the shoot of another plant. Then the host plant grow into a new healthy plant. So that is called grafting. That method is called grafting. Rose, mango, etc. are the example of grafting method. Okay. So this plant we can do the grafting in rose, mango, etc. Next is layering. The stem of jasmine or raspberry. That plant can be bent until it touches the ground. Then a portion of the stem is covered with soil. Leaving the growing tip open. The part of the plant in the soil grows roots. See that here roots are growing. Okay. This part it bent until it touches the ground. The part of the plant in the soil it grows root. And this portion can be cut to grow a new plant. This portion we can cut and this one grow and become a new plant. That is layering. Next is runners. Plants like strawberry have horizontal stem that grow on the ground. See, this one is the horizontal stem. So they grow roots in intervals and produce new plants. These are called runners. Next is reproduction from leaves. Some plants like begonia, bryophyllum, etc. New plants grow from leaves. Next is reproduction from roots. Some plants, they store food in the roots. Carrot, beetroot, etc. Plant food, it is stored in the roots. When these roots replanted, they grow and become new plant. Next is reproduction from spores. Reproduction from spores. Like plants like mosses, ferns, etc. They do not have any flowers or fruits. And they do not have flowers, fruits or seeds. Okay. So these plants, they are having some special structures. So we can see on the underside of the leaf brown spots. So that is called sori. That structure is called sori. Inside this structure, a special thing is present, that is called spores. These spores grow and become a new plant. So that is reproduction from spores. Next is agriculture. Plants grown on a large scale for food or other purpose are called crops. Plants grown on a large scale for food or other purpose, that is called crops. The practice of growing crops in huge quantities are called agriculture. The practice of growing crops in huge quantities is called agriculture. So different kinds of crops are there. Food crops, fiber crops, oil seeds, etc. are the example of different kinds of crops. Food crops, rice, wheat, etc. are the food crops. Fiber crops, jute, cotton, etc. are the example of fiber crops. Oil seeds, mustard, sunflower, coconut, etc. are the example of oil seeds. So crops grown in summer season are called kharif crops. Crops grown in winter season are called rabi crops. So mainly in India, two types of crops are there. Kharif crops and seasonal crops. Okay, two types of seasonal crops are there. Kharif crops and rabi crops. Crops grown in the summer season are called kharif crops. Peanut, rice, jute, millet, these are the example of kharif crops. And crops grown in the winter season are called rabi crops. Gram, wheat, etc. are the example of rabi crops. Okay, different in India, mainly two seasonal crops are there, kharif crops and rabi crops. Okay, see, these crops needs different climatic conditions for getting good harvest. Okay, in India there are two seasonal crops, kharif crops and rabi crops. Crops grown in the summer is called kharif crops. Crops grown in the winter are called rabi crops. Now we can study different stages of agriculture. For getting good harvest, farmers must follow some steps or some stages. Okay, let us learn one by one. First one is preparation of soil. Prepare the soil by plowing with a tractor or bullock. This loosens the soil. So preparation of soil by plowing with a tractor or bullock, this loosens the soil. Next step is adding manure and fertilizers. Manures, cow dung and all, example of manure. Fertilizer, different fertilizer we get available in the market and all. So we need to add manures and fertilizers to the soil for improving the fertility of the soil, to increase the fertility of the soil. Next step is sowing the seed. So good quality or healthy seeds we must sow. We must sow healthy and good quality seeds to the field or crops to the field. Next, irrigation. Next step is irrigation. So we need to water the plant regularly. We need to water the plants regularly. Different methods are there for the irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler method. So these are the different methods of irrigation. Next step is protecting the crops. Different pests and weeds. Weeds are also there. Pests are some insect, it attack the crops. So these insects are called pests. And weeds, some unwanted plants are growing along with the crops, that is called weeds. So we must spray some weedicide or pesticides for some chemicals we are spraying for killing the pest, and weedicides, some chemicals we are spraying for killing the or controlling the weeds, that is weedicide or pesticides. Okay, so we need to protect the crops. Next one is harvesting the crop. So ripened crops are harvested either manually or by using the machine called harvester. Okay, so next is harvesting the crop. Ripened crops are harvested either manually or by using machines called harvester. So the last step is storing the harvested crops. So the harvested crops we must store in well ventilated rooms. Okay, so we must store in the granaries. Now we can study the new words from this lesson. First one, reproduction. Spell the word reproduction. R-E-P-R-O-D-U-C-T-I-O-N. Reproduction. Second, seed coat. S-E-E-D-C-O-A-T. Seed coat. Hilum. H-I-L-U-M. Hilum. Cotyledon. C-O-T-Y-L-E-D-O-N-S. Cotyledon. Dicotyledon. D-I-C-O-T-Y-L-E-D-O-N-S. Dicotyledon. Next, monocotyledon. M-O-N-O-C-O-T-Y-L-E-D-O-N-S. Monocotyledon. Next, embryo. E-M-B-R-Y-O. Embryo. Next, germination. G-E-R-M-I-N-A-T-I-O-N. Germination. Next is seed dispersal. S-E-E-D. Seed dispersal. D-I-S-P-E-R-S-A-L. Seed dispersal. Next, layering. L-A-Y-E-R-I-N-G. Layering. Next, agriculture. A-G-R-I-C-U-L-T-U-R-E. Agriculture. Kharif crops. K-H-A-R-I-F. Kharif crops. C-R-O-P-S. Crops. Next, rabi crops. R-A-B-I-C-R-O-P-S. Rabi crops. Next, irrigation. I-R-R-I-G-A-T-I-O-N. Irrigation. Once again, I-R-R-I-G-A-T-I-O-N. Irrigation. So these are the new words from this lesson. So you have to learn all these new words from the lesson. Read the textbook 5 times and complete all the exercises from the textbook, and learn that not only from the textbook but also from the notebook also. Okay, so you have to learn everything. See you in the next class. Have a great day ahead.